Okay. Hi, Mandy. So tonight is the Keresterer's yard site, and I know that you have a tremendous story to tell over there,
Yes.
personal, so
Yes.
I'd appreciate if you share with
Sure.
us.
My
You
pleasure.
covered with Shayla and Moshe.
Yes. This occurred approximately a little under 3 years ago. I had a buddy of mine who, I unfortunately, my wife and I couldn't have children for close to 10 years. And I have a buddy of mine who, he didn't have a problem not having children, but he has a bunch of daughters and he wanted to have a boy. So he went to Reb Shayla, and 9 months later he had a boy. So he got back and he called me up. He said, Mendy, you have to go to Reb Shayla. I went there, had a baby 9 months to the day later, had a boy. I wanted to have a boy and it happened. I davened for it. I said, you know what? I've been to so many Rebbes, Kfarim Rebbes, and daven. It didn't work. And I said, can't hurt to go to another one. So let me go to this rabbi, which I've never really heard of till then, Reb Shayla and Reb Moshe. So I went to Uman, but before I went to Uman, I said I'm going to go to Reb Shayla, check this whole thing out, what they're saying. So I get to Budapest. I'm there. Probably didn't sleep all night. It's about 6:30 in the morning. I go to this kosher dairy breakfast place. I'm sitting down. I'm eating, and everyone's speaking Hungarian around me. I don't understand what's going on, but there was one fella about, I don't know, maybe 2 tables next to me, talking in English, and he's on his phone. So I say, hey, I just waved to him. I say, hi. He's like, hey, why don't you come sit with me? He tells me, oh, I sit down. We start schmoozing. We have a few friends in common. He's from Lakewood, so I have some buddies from Lakewood that he's friends with, and we just start schmoozing. And he's a really nice guy, and he asks me, why am I here? I told him. I said, I'm going to Reb Shayla. I didn't give him the reason I'm going. I said, I'm here. I'm going to Reb Shayla. I'm trying to get there. I'm not leaving yet. So he tells me, why don't you come along with me? I'm leaving in 15 minutes. So I say, okay, sounds right. I have some buddies I'm supposed to go with, but they're at the hotel. But you know what? You're leaving right now. I'm going to go with you. So he's like, okay, wonderful. Come along. So I get up. This guy's a very nice guy. He pays for my whole breakfast. I'm gonna look at you. It's easier. He pays for my whole breakfast, and I say I thank him, and we get into his fancy car. He has a chauffeur. I get in. We get into. I'm like, okay. I realize he's a very wealthy guy. Obviously, there's no question. He had a Louis Vuitton bag for a man with a Louis Vuitton bag. Something's funny going on here. So I get in the car. We're driving towards Keresterer, and he looks at me and he says, what are you davening for? He just wanted to know. What I said, I have a sister that's stage 4 cancer, dying, and I myself, I haven't had a child in almost 10 years. I tell him the situation, and he looks at me, and he starts asking a few questions about my sister, and then he says, I do stem cell research, stem cell curing or whatever he does, and he says, I may be able to help your sister. What has she done? And I start telling him, and he tells me this procedure is a $300,000 procedure. I'm like, my sister doesn't have 300. She's not a rich person, and he goes, I'm not asking for any money. Let me do the procedure for her. It'll be from my pocket. I'm like, wow. I'm thinking in my head, I'm on my way to daven to Reb Shayla for my sister, where already a refuah is happening before I even left Budapest. I'm like, he's already seeing seeing answers. Answers from Hashem through Reb Shayla, of course. And then I tell him, of course, I haven't had a child in 10 years. So we get to Keresterer. I'm davening, thinking, whatever. The time leaves. I say my goodbyes. I take his phone number. Done. To make a long story short, my sister that year, Baruch Hashem, her cancer completely went away, stage 4 cancer, and I had a child 9 months later, and her name is Emuna Rivka.
Wow.
Great story.
Okay, so
I hope I didn't skip out things.
No, it's terrific.